This video is sponsored by PTCGLstore.com, a great place for you to buy Pokemon TCG code cards. Please remember to use my code NIGHT22 at checkout so that you can get a 5% discount. Before going into the video, please take a second to click that like button, and we're on the road to getting 9,000 subscribers to this channel, so please subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you all so much for all of your support, and I hope you guys are enjoying the content I put out in this channel. In today's video, I'll be showcasing Aegislash from the Paradox Rift expansion set. Aegislash is a stage 2 Pokemon with a very annoying ability called Mysterious Shield. This ability prevents all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from your opponent's Pokemon EX and Pokemon V. But Aegislash doesn't just have a great defensive ability, it also has a very great attack. For 1 metal and 1 colorless energy, Hard Bashing deals 120 unblockable damage. While the damage output is not much, it does however ignore any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. And to make it even more difficult for our opponent to knock out this Pokemon, I've also included a few copies of Luxurious Cape to increase Aegislash's HP by 100, and that's a total of 250 HP. But the drawback is if your opponent knocks out this Pokemon with an attack damage, they will take 2 prizes instead of 1. As a backup attacker, I included Sizer in this build, more for its Punishing Scissors attack. For single metal energy, this attack deals 10 plus damage and an additional 50 more damage for each of your opponent's Pokemon with abilities on them. And then as an added bonus, I thought of using a little bit of a Snorlax stall strategy in this build, so that not only will my opponent have a hard time knocking out Aegislash, they also now have to deal with a disruption that makes it hard for them to get in and out of the active spot. That's because this Snorlax has the block ability, which prevents your opponent from retreating their active Pokemon unless they use an item or a support card to do so. This build of course is just a meme deck, but with so many EX and V Pokemon in the format right now, this is a great way to block your attacks and strategies. Anyways, that's pretty much it. You can find the complete deck list in the description below. And now please enjoy the following gameplay videos showcasing Aegislash. My opponent won the coin flip and they let us go first. So they want to go second, and with those sleeves and everything, I have a feeling, strong feeling, that this is a Roaring Moon EX matchup. Alright, but we're going to start with a Honedge in the active spot. We got a Bidoof on the bench. Gotta preserve those draw engine first and foremost. We have Mesagoza. I could try and get a Bibarel, I guess. And then just try to set up as much Honedge in the next few turns. But I mean, I could get another Honedge because they could just knock out my active. But I'm gonna go with Bibarel. I always regret it when I don't get it, because I'm gonna have a hard time drawing into the cards that I need. So Roaring Moon, I have yet to showcase this in my channel, but Roaring Moon is actually a pretty explosive build. I'm gonna have to showcase this in my channel for sure. But going second, it has the potential to deal a strong attack or to just instantly knock out its opponent's active Pokemon. So with this Squawk ability EX in the active, it has an ability that can discard your entire hand, draw 6. And then just keep those Roaring Moon EX on the bench, and you have those dark patches to basically give you those energies. Okay, they're emptying their hand. You can use Squawk ability EX for sure to draw extra cards. Squawk and Seize, and then see how far it gets them. There is possibility though that they will not be able to put energies on their Roaring Moon EX. So this is a Bibarel. This one has a Bibarel engine, which I think is okay. Alright, there's concealed cards with Radiant Greninja, discarding an energy, drawing 2 extra cards, and if they find a Dark Patch, they can accelerate those energies, and if they drew into Professor Sada's Vitality, they can accelerate more energies from the discard pile onto their ancient Pokemon. So it really all depends on whether or not my opponent can energize one of their Roaring Moon EX and be able to attack this turn. So like I said, we'll have to set up another Hone Edge if we lose this one and be active. But if not, there is a possibility we can evolve into our Aegislash and then block their attack. So Roaring Moon EX will be forced actually to use its gouging attack, an instant knockout. Because while Aegislash's ability nullifies any attack damage, it does not nullify effects of attack. So it can still get poisoned, it can still be instantly knocked out by this Roaring Moon, but my opponent doesn't manage to get enough energies on their Roaring Moon, allowing our Hone Edge to survive. They only attack with Squawkabilly EX, but hopefully we can evolve into an Aegislash this turn. But this actually allows us to build up our set up our other Pokemon here. I'm gonna go for Scyther. Snorlax is good too. I could trap this Squawkabilly in the active spot while I form up my Aegislash, because getting Rare Candy and an Aegislash both in my hand could be a challenge here. I got a Scyther. Alright, that's good. That is good. So I'm just gonna end my turn, and this is why I have Snorlax. You know, the block ability is actually really annoying. If you don't have any counters on that, you don't have a lot of switches in your build, one of your weak Pokemon is just gonna get trapped in the active spot. You can't do anything. So Snorlax Stall is a it's a really annoying card. You know, I've played against it and it is very obnoxious. But if you are playing with it and maybe just a secondary disruption, I think it's great. So I thought about it, since Aegislash is basically a type of stall in a way, because you are blocking any attacks anyways coming from your opponent's Pokemon EX or V. I mean, stall, for me, I think it fits in perfectly with the strategy of this build, right? And it also has the potential to become aggressive with Scyther being in the deck. You can deal a lot of damage depending on how many Pokemon your opponent has in play that has abilities. So Scyther right now can actually deal what, 5, 10, 15, 200 damage, and that's enough to knock out probably their Roaring Moon. Because like I said, if we evolve into an Aegislash, they will be forced to use that instant knockout attack, but it also deals 200 damage to their Roaring Moon. But for now, they're just going to use Calamity Storm by discarding that Stadium. They are dealing 220 damage, knocking out our Snorlax, so they were able to get that Squawkabilly EX out of the active after all. So now we gotta figure this out. We got an Iono. I can use Ultra Ball. I have an energy. I could deal 120 damage on this Roaring Moon. And again, they will be forced to use the instant knockout. And it's basically a double knockout at this point. And with Luxurious Cape, I might have to use Luxurious Cape though. Because if they have a Stadium, they can use the Stadium. Oh, no. They won't be able to damage our Aegislash, right? So we should be safe. Let me go ahead and use Industrious Incisors. Alright, we got another Hone Edge. That's cool. Either way, if I use Luxurious Cape or not, if they use the instant knockout, they're only taking one prize, because it's not an attack. So I'm gonna go ahead and just use Hard Bashing, deal 120 damage to this Roaring Moon EX, and if they use the instant knockout, that will also knock out their Roaring Moon EX. And I think that's pretty much the strategy against this matchup, you know. Thankfully, Aegislash's attack is pretty high, so despite them having that Ancient Energy Capsule, adding additional HP to the Roaring Moon EX, it's enough damage to basically put it where if they use that instant knockout, it also knocks out their Roaring Moon EX. Alright, so just gotta keep up the cycle here, keep our Aegislash lineup going, and that Morpeko is not gonna be too much of a problem or too much of a threat to us because Aegislash has 150 HP. It will take them at least three attacks for them to knock out our Aegislash. So we're not too worried about that. So yeah, we pretty much have the win condition here. All we have to do is just keep up our Aegislash lineup and then force our opponent to use the instant knockout, and then with that double knockout, we're always going to be ahead in the prize exchange. So we are looking good here. They have a boss's orders though. As long as they don't target our Bibarel, we should be okay. Okay, they're going to go for Hone Edge. That's fine. And they're going to go just with a regular attack of Calamity Storm. And they didn't even have to discard the Stadium because it's enough damage to knock out our Hone Edge. Alright, so they're now 2 prizes ahead. We have Snorlax once more, which is okay. Go ahead and use Pokestop here. Alright, we got a Nest Ball. We can set up another Hone Edge for sure. And then just gonna use Super Rod and just recover these 3. Luxurious Escape. Yeah, it doesn't really matter in this matchup, now that I think about it, but just gonna lessen my hand as much as I can. We got a boss's orders. I can start powering up my Hone Edge, and I'm gonna go with this knockout against their Bibarel. That's gonna limit their draw here. It's not gonna help them draw as much anymore. And we got Erika's Invitation. Alright. This is pretty good. Pretty good. So we have the potential to trap their Pokemon in the active spot. And with a Luxurious Escape, their Morpeko's gonna have even a harder time knocking out our Aegislash. Right? And energizing Morpeko is a little bit of a hassle too, because it requires 2 dark energies. And after it attacks, you have to get rid of them. Put 2 of those energies to their bench Pokemon. So Morpeko is just an easy knockout for us. And Aegislash can definitely take care of this Morpeko. Alright, so I think we have a pretty good handle on our strategy here. We are A-okay. Alright, Energizer Wheel, 70 damage. Transfer 2 energies to one of their benched Pokemon. So now they have 2 Roaring Moons ready to attack. And let's see here. Get another Hone Edge. Just keep that going basically. And then use Industrious Incisors for 2. Alright, we can evolve into Sizer. That's good. And then Pokestop, maybe we'll get a rare candy, but we didn't. Okay. Let's go ahead and just use Hard Bashing to knock out this Morpeko. And then we get 1 prize. Okay, I think we're pretty good. So what's gonna happen here is if they attack with the one with no damage, again, the only way they can knock out Aegislash is by using instant knockout. We have to get that rare candy though to get another Hone Edge in play and another energy. So we need 2 cards. But we have been using Pokestop. We have been discarding some cards, so the likelihood of us getting a rare candy using this Pokestop, our opponent's Pokestop actually, could help us to evolve into an Aegislash. And then since the instant knockout will damage their Roaring Moon, that will set it up with the less HP. We can knock it out with an Aegislash attack, and that's gonna get us 2 prizes. And pretty much every time they attack, we're just gonna take 2, while they only get 1 prize. Alright, they're gonna play Luminion V. There is potential here where they could just get boss orders and attack normally, and then take another prize, but constantly my opponent is just taking 1 prize at a time, and it's really not helping him out. So we definitely have an advantage against this matchup for sure. Does this build work on every matchup? No, but you know, for the most part it is a very interesting build to use. Alright, they're gonna target Sizer, and they're gonna discard their stadium to take a knockout, but that also takes away the stadium that we could be needing to get that rare candy. But at least that boss's orders actually preserve our Aegislash to survive, and I'm just gonna go ahead and just sacrifice these 2 and get a Squovit. I'm gonna use Heavy Ball and just not. We have run rare candy in the prizes. Okay, come on, rare candy, give me one. We didn't get anything. Okay, but I have basic energy, and that's good. I'm gonna go ahead and just use hard bashing. I could get one of those rare candy once my opponent gets knocked out. So again, they'll be forced to use the Frenzied Gouging, deal an instant knockout, damage their Roaring Moon. We get 2 prizes. If we get a rare candy, we can evolve into another Aegislash, and then just take the last 2 prizes. So they have 2 more boss's orders shuffled back to the deck thanks to their Pal Pad. But slowly but surely, my opponent is going to have a hard time getting around our defense here. Yeah, Aegislash, if you want if you want an easy way to win games, Aegislash is the way to do it. So there it is, Frenzied Gouging for an instant knockout against our Aegislash. Again, Luxurious Escape only gets that 2 prize for my opponent if they knock it out with their regular attack damage. And there it is, the rare candy. They might have gotten a knockout against our first Aegislash. They only take 1 prize, but that will set us up for another Aegislash, and it is our turn. So now, all we have to do is evolve into an Aegislash, knock out this Morpeko, and that will leave us with 1 more prize remaining to win this game. Alright, I'm just gonna use Nastash. Look for that rare candy. Mesagoza is good. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. If we get heads, we're gonna get Aegislash probably, but nope, we got tails. All right, so nothing left to do but use hard bashing to take a knockout against this Morpeko and get our 1 prize, and that's pretty much it. There's no other way my opponent can win this one now. They still need 2 prizes to go. All they can do is take 1 prize either way. Although what they could do is boss one of our bench Pokemon, take another prize, and then our Aegislash will not be able to knock out this Roaring Moon. So one way they can win this is if they boss one of our benched Pokemon, take a prize, and we could go into overtime. That is one way to deal with this. Because they take a prize, knock out one of our Pokemon on the bench. That's not gonna harm them at all. And even if we attack, we're only dealing 120 damage, not enough to knock out a Roaring Moon EX. Yeah, alright, so there is, my opponent can still win this if they have a boss's orders available to them. But no, they're just gonna retreat. They're just gonna retreat. Professor Sada's Vitality, alright. Do they have the energy? They need one more. They can use Frenzied Gouging, knock out this Aegislash, and then we have to evolve into another Aegislash to win it. But if not, if they whiff it, we're just gonna continue to attack. Do they have it? Do they have it? If I was my opponent, I could have just I would have just bossed one of my bench Pokemon here. Take a knockout with just a regular attack. Discard the stadium. And then they could go onto overtime so that they can win. Going second probably on their next turn. But no, they're just going to use Motivate. Deal no damage to our Aegislash and then accelerate energy from their discard pile. Alright. So what's the fastest way for us to win this? If we can get a boss orders maybe. Or something to switch out their Bidoof. That is the only way we can win this game right now. So what will it be? We have 16 cards left in the deck. I'm going to go ahead and use Nestash. Rare Candy. Alright. Masagoza. We could go for another Aegislash evolution here. Nope. But most probably we'll just draw into it though. Industrious Incisors. If we have a boss or something, this will be it. Well, we got an Ultra Ball. Alright. I think we are pretty much safe. Let's go ahead and evolve into another Aegislash. And then I think the only way I could do this is just chip away at this Squawkabilly EX. And then I guess my boss is gone. I can use Arvin. I don't know. I could just attack and just chip away at this. I could use Arvin, just get Palpad, right? I'll just do that. We do have Palpad. We have Luxurious Cape. And then I'm going to go ahead and just recover my boss orders. And that's that. So, there's no way my opponent will take an extra prize with the Superior Escape, so might as well just add that extra HP, deal 120 damage to this Quackabilly EX, and then hopefully next turn, I can get that boss orders and take a knockout against their Bibarel. So despite them being able to evolve into a Bibarel, 120 damage is enough to take a knockout and get that last prize, because any other Pokemon that they have in play, we can't really knock out with a single hit. Even Radiant Greninja has 130. It will survive with 10 HP. So yeah, my opponent is actually putting up a hard fight. But they are getting there. But I think in the last turn, they made a mistake. I think that was the best option for me. If I had to have to move, is basically take a knockout there. But it really depended whether or not they had access to boss orders, right? So, again, they're gonna attack with Squawkabilly. And that's gonna be it. They're gonna scoop. And yeah, good game. We are gonna start this one with a Bidoof in the active spot. We are going first in this matchup. We have access to Battle VIP Pass and a Nest Ball, so we can set up at least 3 more basic Pokemon on our bench. My opponent will take a mulligan. It looks like we're going against a Garchomp EX. Alright, so this is an EX build. We can definitely block those attacks with Aegislash. So we'll have to set up our Aegislash as soon as possible. So we got an extra card, we got a Sizer, and Great Tusk EX. Alright, so now it's our turn. Let's go ahead and set up our basic Pokemon. They can attack for a single energy on their first turn, right? And that will knock out our Bidoof in the active, so I'll just have to set up another one on the bench. That's going to be our main draw engine. And of course, Hone Edge, which after we evolve into an Aegislash, we can block their attacks. Since we have Sizer, I could just get a Scyther, I guess. This is a great pivot, because even after they knock out our Bidoof, we can put our Scyther in the active and easily retreat with it. So I'm just going to end my turn with an energy attachment to Hone Edge. Again, Aegislash requires at least 2 energies for it to attack. So having that initial attachment of energy will help us to attack with it. And then with Arven, I can get a rare candy and start blocking their attacks. But we'll need another energy to power up Aegislash and Bidoof. We need to evolve that into a Bibarel. But for now, my opponent is actually setting up Riolu, which evolves into Lucario, which is a single prize Pokemon, and it is not an EX or a V, so they can definitely take a knockout against our Aegislash. So they will attack, take a knockout against our Bidoof. They will take their first prize with their Great Tusk EX attacking for a single energy. And alright, we got a Mesagoza. We go ahead and use Arven. I can evolve into an Aegislash with Rare Candy and Luxurious Cape. I'm not sure how well they can power up or even evolve into a Lucario. They could knock us out easily. But for now, I'm just going to block off their attack from this Great Tusk and evolve my Scizors. And hopefully I can get heads with this Mesagoza. Get myself a Bibarel. Come on, give me heads. Dude, that's awesome. Alright, cool. So you can get a Bibarel. You can draw extra cards now. We can even use Counter Catcher and just deal with this Riolu so that we don't have to worry about it dealing damage to our Aegislash. Hopefully we can get an energy. There it is. There's the energy that we need to deal 120 against this Riolu. And I'm going to go ahead and use this Hisuian Heavy Ball to get another Hone Edge set up just in case. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and use Hard Bashing to deal 120 damage, knocking out this Riolu, getting us our first prize. So now we don't have to worry about that. No damage being dealt to our Aegislash, and Great Tusk will not be able to damage our Aegislash at all. So one counter against this Aegislash, of course, is if your opponent has Cancel and Cologne, that will cancel the energy or the ability that is on your opponent's active Pokemon. So that will cancel out Aegislash's ability, and then they can attack straight through that. So that's one option that you could do. That's why Canceling Cologne is now an option in a lot of builds, because, you know, there's also Mimikyu, things like that. But yeah, Aegislash is just a little bit better than Mimikyu because it does deal a little bit more damage, and it can stack a little bit more HP than Mimikyu, because Mimikyu, it only has an initial 70 HP. If you have Luxurious Cape, it'll increase it to 170. But then if you attack with it, you're only dealing 7 damage counters to your opponent's active Pokemon. Meanwhile, my opponent is just setting up another Riolu line. There's the Gibble, which will eventually evolve into a Garchomp EX. But right now their priority is that Lucario lineup. And again, the Hard Bashing is unblockable. So despite my opponent's Pokemon, Great Tusk EX, it has the defensive tool card there. It's not gonna help out at all. We're still dealing 120 damage against it. So my opponent's attempting for the Mesagoza. They fail. They got Tails. And if they don't set up anymore, we're just gonna continue to attack and hopefully knock out this Great Tusk. So they try to attack, deal no damage thanks to our Mysterious Shield ability. And let's see what they have in their hand. Professor's Research and a TM Evolution card. Alright, well, they can't attach it to Great Tusk, and Great Tusk has a lot of retreat costs, so they won't be able to take that out of the active spot easily. I will set up a Manaphy just because Garchomp EX can actually target our bench, and that's gonna protect us from that from happening. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just continue to attack with Hard Bashing and go from there. That's basically it. This is the strategy, guys, here. Sizer can attack for a lot of damage if your opponent uses a lot of abilities. Aegislash will just block any damage from your opponent's EX Pokemon or V Pokemon. And of course, Snorlax is a secondary option to stall if we want to. Maybe deck out our opponent when it comes to that. But for now, they're just stacking up those energies on their Riolu. They will use Professor's Research. Maybe they can evolve into a Lucario. Switch it into the active spot. And not sure if they can deal a lot of damage though. 250 HP is a lot of HP. And if they don't have a way to continue to recycle a Lucario line, they will not get through Aegislash's defense. So, yeah, Luxurious Cape on Aegislash is insane, man. It is a very chunky Pokemon. It's like an EX Pokemon that cannot be touched by any EX or V Pokemon. That is insane. Alright, so they're just gonna pass. I would really like to target that Lucario though, just so we can prevent it from taking a knockout. But I could just set up another Aegislash, I guess. So even if they knock out our active, we have another attacker lined up. And then, let's see, I could use Luxurious Cape, but I mean, either way, it's fine. Let me just use Nest Dash and then use Bibarel. I'm gonna start charging up this Aegislash as much as I can. We got those energy that I needed, and then yeah, I think I'll just attach it to this benched one and then just continue to attack this Great Tusk. So once I draw into a boss orders, we can get that Aegislash and knock it out again. But yeah, it's pretty much just a waiting game. We're just going to continue to knock out whatever comes our way. And then, yeah, go from there. Just see how easy you can win with Aegislash if your opponent cannot damage you at all. And for the meantime, though, their Lucario is charging up its attack. So, from its attack damage output, it does add up to 60 per energy. So that's 240 plus 10, 250. So now they can actually take a knockout. With just 4 fighting energies on Lucario, they can take a knockout against our Aegislash. So if they can just switch out this Great Tusk, they can knock out my Aegislash. But that's one of the reasons why I didn't put the Luxurious Cape, because what I could do next turn, since they can't really retreat their Great Tusk, we can use Switch out our Aegislash into the active spot from our bench, and then attack with that, knock out this Great Tusk. We take 2 prizes, and then we can my opponent will just take 1 prize with this Lucario. But they gotta switch. They will just take advantage of this, I'm pretty sure. So Aura Sphere Volley deals exactly 250 damage, and then they will actually take 2 prizes instead of 1. And that is the drawback, or the payoff with the Luxurious Cape. It adds HP, but you will also lose 1 prize if it gets knocked out. Your opponent knocks out your Pokemon with an attack damage. Alright, so we got an energy to our Aegislash. That's fine. We can knock out this Lucario. We don't have to worry about that. There's no way they can set up another one next turn, and they don't have any other attackers against our Aegislash where they can knock it out. So we are pretty much safe. We're just going to use Hard Bashing to knock out this Lucario. So the danger is pretty much gone, and we're just going to take 1 prize for that. And what we're going to do is just basically recycle our Aegislash as much as we can, and then continue to block off their attacks. Thankfully, none of their stage 1 Pokemon from this Garchomp EX line deals enough damage to make us worry. So we should be okay. At 100 HP, Aegislash can easily knock it out, and we're just gonna slowly take one prize at a time. And then eventually we can even take out that Great Tusk for 2 prizes. So we are in a good position right now. And I haven't seen them evolve into a Garchomp EX just yet either. So I don't know any other way they can get through our defenses with a Garchomp EX. So I don't see my opponent evolving into one anyways. But they could stall and just absorb a lot of damage from Aegislash. We can knock one out of their... we can knock out their Garchomp EX if they do evolve into one in 3 turns. But they do have a boss's orders. They're going to go for Barrel. Alright. I mean, we're not too worried anyways, because like I said, if they knock it out, we're just going to continue to block their attacks with Aegislash. And until they set up another Lucario line, they're pretty much... You know, they cannot really deal any serious damage against our Aegislash. For now, though, they're just going to end their turn using Koraidon EX's ability to accelerate energies. But that's alright. We have Arven, and we got a copy of Switch and a Luxurious Cape to add on to our Aegislash. And yeah, we can continue to attack. I mean, I don't have to use it right now, I guess. We are still blocking our opponent's attacks anyway, so yeah, I'll just save it for later. Because they will take 2 prizes in case they knock out our Aegislash. So I'm going to go with that. Nest Dash, and then we're going to use Industrious Incisors to draw. And we can even evolve into another Aegislash. Look at this lineup. This is insane. We're going to use Hard Bashing to knock out this Gabite and take another prize. Slowly but surely, we are winning this matchup for sure. And we got a Mesagoza from our prizes. So, yeah, my opponent really doesn't have a lot of options here. They can attack with Gible or evolve into a Gabite, but they evolve into Garchomp EX, they cannot really do anything else. They're gonna promote their Koraidon EX in the active spot, but with no energies on it, they can't really attack with it either. And like I said, all we have to do is get a boss orders, knock out that Great Tusk, and win this game after we take out one more of their 1 prize. But I could also just chip away at this Koraidon EX and do away with it. So we're just going to do 120 damage, and in the next turn we can knock it out, get 2 prizes for it. So now we have 2 targets. Take 2 prizes against this Koraidon EX. If we get our boss, take out that Great Tusk, and it'll be game over. So pretty much Aegislash is just a counter to a lot of builds that are heavy on EX or V-Star, V-Max Pokemon. We just kind of ignore all of their attack damage. There are some Pokemon that ignores any effects on their opponent's active Pokemon. Unblockable damage, basically. So I know there are a few attackers that actually do that. VMAX or EX Pokemon that ignores any effects on their opponent's active Pokemon. Alright, they're just going to attack with Gible. But 20 damage is just a tickle for our Aegislash. So, Hard Bashing will take 1 prize, knocking out this Gible. And again, all we have to do is get one of those, get the Great Tusk or their Koraidon for us to knock out and get our last 2 prizes. So, it's pretty much what it is. Aegislash is a very annoying card, you know? So, if you're one of those players that rely heavily on EX and V Pokemon, watch out. Aegislash is very difficult to get around unless you have other tech cards that can counter it. So my opponent will evolve into a Gabite. If I can just get that boss orders, we can end this match. All we have to do is knock out one of their benched 2 prize Pokemon. They're gonna use Power Blast for 50 damage. And that also discards an energy, alright. Very interesting. And there's a scoop, alright. Good game. And that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please don't forget to smash the like button for me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching the Popsicleknight channel, and as always, stay safe and have a great day.